All right, welcome back at Average at Best Cornhole. Today we have some more Cornhole Coastal bags. We previously reviewed the Fear with the creatures, but we brought that back today for a couple reasons, right?
The fears, I mean, we felt they were just heavier and a lot faster in creatures. They really didn't match up too well. But now, new to the 2025 season, Cornhole Coaster comes out with this icon, though, that has a faster slow side on it. Figured it would match up a little bit better with the fears. Problem is that bag is unique and it takes a little bit of getting used to. I think that if that was your primary bag, it would be great. But if it's not, if you're trying to switch back and forth, I don't know if you're going to like it too well.
Yeah, I would agree. I got a couple things to say about it, and we'll get into it.
First up's the baggage, and we're going to start with the speed. So Cornhole Coastal lists the fears at a 6.5 on the slow side, 9 on the fast side. Then they have the icons listed as a 7 on the slow side with that 9 on the fast side. And I don't know how much we agree with that, right?
Yeah, I mean, these speeds become so subjective when you're looking at it, that way. I mean, I would say the icon's probably closer to a 7, or what I would call a 7, then the Fear would be a 6.5, right? I mean, I know the icon was pretty much blowing it away on the ramp.
It was a lot faster than the Fear on the ramp. So yes, I guess maybe we don't agree with the 6.5 as much. Maybe the 7, but 7 still sees a tad bit high.
Yeah, I would agree. Maybe knock them down one notch each or something. But all right, so getting into the materials, I mean, they both share the same fast side you're going to find on the Cornhole Coastal Creatures. The Fears are your traditional R carpet, and the icon is this new hybrid material that we're starting to see a lot of bags, right?
It is popping up a bunch right now. I think we have 4 or 5 series we're breaking in right now with that on it. So.
Right, so that's seems to be kind of the new hot material on the market right now.
Yeah, I started. It's super soft. I mean, it is a great hand feel, especially paired with this particular fast side. I was calling it the Charmin hybrid. I don't know. It is pretty soft. At first, I was second guessing it. I heard that it was new to the ACL, which there is another bag that's new this season that has it also. But I was sitting them side by side. Every other one I seen was the white and blue hybrid weave, and this is a little different with that color with that gray in there, and it was super confusing, looking under a microscope and stuff, and I'm 95% sure it's that same material.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be, from throwing the bags, together, it seems to be pretty much the same. So if we're wrong, let us know.
Template on both these series is small. The icon, I mean, it does have really square corners, but it makes it seem a little bit larger than the Fear is, and then it actually, I think the pellets disperse them a little bit more, so it is thinner. But there are definitely some smaller templates.
Yeah, I'm not real sure, but I think this material may stretch out a little bit. I mean, it's so soft. I just really feel like the fabric's going to stretch, so it may, get a little bit bigger over time.
Yeah, the R carpet's pretty
it does that as well. Yeah, and both of them.
Yeah, and as we touched on earlier, the Fear, I mean, it is definitely a fuller bag, and you can tell by the weight. I mean, they're at like 16.25 ounces compared to the icon, which is at your normal nominal 16 ounces.
All right, so I get into the fill and flop on these bags. I mean, they're both mixed fills, both pretty floppy. Now, the Fear
might be the same mixed fill, by feeling them.
Yeah, don't know for sure, but they're definitely a mixed fill, right? Mm-hmm. The Fear is a very it's more full than it is floppy, but it's still very floppy. It's one of the few bags that I've thrown that has that full hand fill, but still a great amount of flop to it. Now, the icons, they're kind of probably right where you want it, right? They're right in the sweet spot.
I like the amount of flop of those icons. Yeah.
I was still able to get a good grip, good hand feel with, having that nice floppiness, which has always been a problem for me. So kudos already to the icon for that.
Yeah, and I really think it's square corners. It's like, because there's that much more space for those pellets to disperse to, when you grip it. Those are a great hand filling bags.
They are. They absolutely are. That's the first time I picked them up. I was just like, oh, these feel nice. All right, so just touch base on the bagmanship here, and same as before with Cornhole Coastal, pretty excellent, right? We're very happy with it. No issues, really no tears or pulls on these bags. All the seams look great and everything. The only thing I'll point out is on the icon. I don't know how well you can see it on the camera, but it just seems like there's a little more fabric hanging on the outside of the seam.
It's like thicker or something.
Yeah, it's just like thicker, so you feel it more in your hand.
Yeah, especially if you're one of those people that hold the seam in your hand. It's different, and I don't know if it's a good different, but it's almost like it's meant to be that way. I don't think that's like a mistake with the bagmanship.
Right, because it's consistent with right. All 4 bags pretty well. One thing I'll point out, though, it makes it a whole lot easier when you spin the bag to see which side the seams point to.
Yeah. Well, you can see, though, I mean, that's like I don't know stitching, but that's like an X cross, and this is just like a single double stitch or something. So maybe that's what it is. It's a better seam.
Yeah, improvement, for durability, longevity with the bags or something. Don't know the details. Cornhole Coastal, if you're watching, drop a comment and let us know the difference.
Now we're going to move into our slide up, and these icons, I don't know, I just struggled to get a good throw with them. And I don't think it's the bag, I think it's me, or it might just be the bag because it's so different. I touched on that seam, but also when you butterfly grip, there's just something about the corners, and I just could not get a really good throw with that bag.
Yeah, you were struggling for sure, or complaining, whatever it was, So, I actually enjoyed the hand grip with that. That's one thing that I always focus on bags. So it actually felt great in my hand. Beads weren't rolling away to where my fingers were touching in the center of the bag. So all of that felt great. My release felt great and stuff like that. I did struggle with the bag a little bit, which I'll talk in, some of the other points to it. One thing that I noticed right away, and what I keep telling Craig, is it just seems like the bag always held its shape. Like once you got it in the air, it just kept that flat shape, hit the board. It never bulked up anywhere, which was kind of unique. It jumped out to me. I haven't seen a lot of bags do that. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just what I noticed. So getting into the forgiveness on these bags, it's hard to say that they're truly forgiving bags because they're a smaller template. We kind of know now that a larger template generally gives you a little more forgiveness, but for the medium template and the size and stuff, they were pretty forgiving.
Yeah, those materials are forgiving, so that's going to help it out too.
Yeah, I kind of lead towards the icon as far as forgiveness. Honestly, I wasn't really getting any unexpected kicks or bounces, like how I mentioned before. Once they kind of hit the board, they just kept their shape. So I wasn't getting a throw that was a little off, or the corner would bounce up and cause unwanted direction change of the bag. I didn't get that at all with the icon, which the Fear I get sometimes.
Yeah, an icon, I mean, it has that fast or slow side too, so that's going to help with that too. And plus, we already said the Fears are heavier and fuller, so that's what we're saying, a smaller, fuller bag.
Right.
It's going to kick a little bit on you.
It is, yeah.
But when you got kick, you got activity too, so.
Very true.
You can use it to your advantage. Whole bodiness. Smaller bag with these materials, it's going to have some good whole bodiness, but I was actually very surprised at how much whole bodiness that icon had. If you could get it by the hole, it just seemed to drip in every time. Even if it was hanging up, I mean, it just fell.
Yeah, I agree it did. And here's where I'll contradict myself a little bit, is how I was saying it seemed like it constantly held its shape until it got near the hole. Then it wanted to change the shape and slide right in.
Well, it got its shape back when it was lying underneath the board.
For sure, right? But yeah, absolutely, I agree. The whole bodiness on the icon was exceptional. I mean, a big part of that is how fast that newer hybrid side is. I mean, there was some where they were laying on the back. I think we even have, you'll see some footage of one that it hit the board, and it was on the back.
I hope I can match this up. You threw it,
Yeah, I threw it.
Hit the board, stopped. We saw it shift as we were walking back. We're like, oh, hold on.
Then it stopped.
We started walking again, and then it fell. It was the craziest thing ever.
It was, and there was no other real bags around it. It was just kind of did its own thing. And so we made sure we put a bullet point of the time on that video.
I've never seen one stop halfway like this, and then we were like, oh, and then we were like, oh.
Yeah, it really wanted to go, and it got there. So super, super cool. I feel the icons have a slight edge on the Fears for the whole bodiness.
Collectability, and both bags are pretty collectible. I think my personal opinion, I'm going to give the Fear a slight edge. I was thinking the icons were going to be a little bit better because those square corners, it's almost like, 2 gears catching or whatever.
Yeah.
And they did collect, but they might have been too fast to collect every time, possibly.
Yeah, there was a few instances where I slid under, the quarter of the bag, rather than grabbing it and pushing it like the Fears would, just because that speed, and the low profile of the bag, it would just go right under it, and I would just leave it sitting there. So the collectible, yes, but margin for error of really hitting that exact spot, you have less margin of error to work with on the icons.
On the capable shots and the Fears, I mean, that's going to be the bag you're going to choose if you want to do some fancy shots. With that small full template, you're going to be able to cut and roll that bag.
Yep.
We really can't do it too much yet, but I'm sure someone can. The icons, though, if I'm picking that bag up, I'm just trying to run holes, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I believe there's cut shots in there, if you're really good with the bags and stuff.
But not that great, though, because there was a fast bag, right? You think you can cut around something, catch the back of that hole, and, swing it around and bring it in. I was having trouble doing that with the icons. Like I was not, I was going past the hole. Like it wasn't cutting enough like what I'm used to with other bags.
Right. And I mean, that could have been us, still adapting to the faster speeds of that. I found myself having to put more loft on the bag with those icons than I would the Fear. And I was trying to create cuts and stuff like that. And it just, they weren't happening. Clearly a hole runner, at least for me.
Mm-hmm. So with the designs on these bags, I like the designs. It's just Cornhole Coastal doesn't seem to have like extravagant designs, but where they excel is, I think they keep that beach theme or whatever. They have vibrant colors.
They do. Yeah.
You can go on their website and look like every bag's like just bright and shiny, which I really like, especially when you're going to, dig it out of the hole or whatever. You could find your bag a lot easier.
All right, availability, don't need to go too much. They're both available in different colorways on their website, which is just cornholecoastal.com. And you can also find these on the Amazon machine. So
yeah, both series already, too. It's pretty neat. Leads us to our final thoughts, and we're going to go with cost. And we're giving them 2 1/4 bagger. It's a little odd, but it seems like with the 2025 season, everybody's price jumped up a tad bit. The Fears are at $89.99. The Icons are at $95.99, right around there. So still under that $100 mark that we're always looking for, and there is discount codes available to reduce it some.
Yep. Overall, here we're just would we think kind of like a 2-bagger on the Icon, right?
Yeah, so 2-bagger. I mean, right in the middle. It's intriguing, and I really truly think that if that was the only bag I threw, I would love that bag. It's just I don't have that luxury, because we throw so many other bags to try to break them in and make reviews that can't really focus on one bag.
Right.
And just how different it was bothered me a little bit.
I like I like that we're coming out with new materials and stuff like that. So that part of it's awesome and everything. And, the bag just didn't end up being, as good for me as I wanted it to be. So I agree, right in that 2 area. I'm going to hope to throw them a lot more too, and maybe those thoughts will change. And if we do get a chance to, maybe we'll come back and, speak differently about them. But right now, it's just a basic hole runner. I don't have enough skills, in my arsenal to make that bag do what I could do something with, like the Fear, right? Which, I think we're a solid, at least a 2.5 on the Fear, right? As an overall score, a little bit better than, your average bag.
Versatility was a little bit more. We're going to end it like we always do. If you want to be average at something, may as well be average at cornhole.